All right, welcome back. So in this tutorial, we are going to talk about creating classes and arms. And so for us to have a school, we definitely need to have classes, and then we can categorize each classes into different arms. So without further ado, let's go to that. Now, I'm clicking on under academic and we click on the classes and arms. We discover that we have no class yet. So the first thing we do is to add a new class. So by clicking on the class, we are asked to select our class group, right? So automatically the system has detected that we are under high school. So we choose junior or junior school, and we choose the year one. So year one can be JSS1. We create the class. So you can see that the reason why we are suggested two class groups is because we are currently in high school. So if we pick nursery school and primary school, we see different options. Now, let's create just three classes for a start. So go and JSS2, we do for the third class, or let's just do everything. Select the year 3, JSS3. Okay, let's stop there. And after we've created a class, the next thing is to do is to create an arm. So most schools have this concept of arms, where they have different divisions for a class. For example, we have this concept called JS1A, JS1B, JS1 Gold, JS1 Diamond, whatever syntax your school uses to denote arms. So to create an arm, we can click on Add Arm, and then we can determine the name of the arm. Let's use Gold for Arm 1. We create, and then use Diamond for Arm 2. So we've created two arms. So we'll do the same for the other class. Now, instead of creating the arms as we've done, we can actually click on it, and instead of add arms, we can click on copy arms. This is for JS2. So we select the class we want to copy the arms from, automatically copies it for us. So we'll do the same for JSS3. Copy arms, choose the class we want to copy arms. We can also decide that, okay, JS3 can have only one arm or both. So whatever the case may be. So we're good. We have just added the three arms. So now we have three classes, JSS1, JSS2, and JSS3. So we are going to focus on JS1 for this tutorial. So when we click on JS1, there are other things we can still do. So we can assign class head teachers, but because we have not added any staff yet, there is no teacher to assign. So we get a notification that we don't have any staff currently. So we'll leave that until we have staff. And we can also see that each of these arms have 0 students too. So before we start adding staffs and students, we need to complete the setup for the class JSS1. So the next item we do is to go to the subjects tab. Now, under subject tabs, there are a handful of things you can do. You can manage categories, you can copy subjects, you can add subjects, you can assign general subjects. So the thing we're going to do here is to add subjects because there are no subjects. What manage category does is currently there's one category which is general, but you can create categories for different departments like science, arts, business. So if you click on create category, there's only one category which is default. So this category cannot be deleted, but I may decide to add category for arts and science as well as social science. So let's actually create the categories. So we've created arts, we'll create for science, and so if your school have categories for the class, say your JS1 have different categories. Usually most schools in Nigeria have categories in senior secondary school, but we can create the arms regardless. So you can discover that each of these categories can be deleted except one. So general categories is just more or less like the general division. So if a subject is not assigned to any category, it's going to be in the general category. So we go back again to subjects, and now we can now add subjects. Now, you are now asked to choose a category for the subject. But for now, let's work with general category. So let's say English is under general category, definitely. So we choose English language. And we can choose a visible name. So sometimes a subject's name can be so long that many times we want to ensure that it is shown completely in the UI. So we can choose a short name and say English. But let's leave it empty and let's work with the defaults. So you can also mark it as optional. So there's some subjects that a class can do, another class may not do it. A category can do, another category may not do. So if you have such cases as subjects, you have to mark it as optional. So in this case, we'll mark it as compulsory. So assign. So we've created English language. We can add another subjects. So let's also add a general subject. Let's say for junior secondary school, basic science, and this time basic science is an optional subject, so we can mark as optional. So for the sake of this tutorial, I would focus just on adding 2 subjects, but in your case you can add multiple subjects. Okay, so at this point we are good to go. So we've added 2 subjects for JS1, but we've not done for the other classes, so we can do the same. So we'll go to JS2. We discover that JS2 don't have any class. So what we'll do is to, instead of adding the same subject, we just copy a subject. So you can copy from an existing subject. So we copy these 2. So those 2 subjects we created for JS1 has been copied successfully. So we go back and do the same for JS3. Again, most of the configurations you are doing here is one-off. So you don't do it every time you need to work on the dashboard. You only do it once and you're good to go. So at this point, we have added classes for the 3 subjects. So you can see we have 3 classes, and each of these classes have their subjects. So the next item on this list is settings, right? So for each class, you can also create some custom settings. So what this subject auto mapping means is, if students, so when students are enrolled or promoted into this class, subjects are automatically assigned based on this mode. So if you want to know how to assign subjects to students, anytime a student is assigned to a class, the subjects that have been added for that class will be assigned to that student. Because for this app, you not only assign subjects to classes, you also assign subjects to students, because subjects can be unique per student. Some students may have different paths to others, so their subjects may be different. So if you add students to this class, automatically they will inherit the subjects that are belonging to that class. That's what this mode means. If you choose by category, it is the subject that belongs to that category that the student will be assigned to. Then the next item, we have resulting settings. So resulting settings is for report cards. So we are going to have a separate tutorial on report cards. So when we are going to do that, we're going to configure this. So we'll leave it for now. Then we also have what we call promotion policies, right? Decide how the classes students are auto-assigned, auto-classified during session rollover. So usually students are promoted to new classes, and there can be a policy to determine how they are promoted automatically. Say, if they don't make up to 50% or 40% of their scores, they will not be promoted. So here you can assign the promotion policy, right? So you can do it by class, and then you can say the minimum session. If they have 50% of their score, they should be promoted. So this policy will be applied for promotion. So you don't have to promote students manually. You can do that automatically. So that's for the settings. So we also have students. So currently we have not added students, so we can't see anything. Also, results is going to be empty because there are no students and there are no assessments. So at this point, we are good. We do the same for JS2 and JS3, but for this tutorial, we're going to focus only on JSS1. Now, the next thing we are going to do is adding staff and students. So we have just been able to create classes. In the next tutorial, we're going to show you how to manage people, and we're going to use the people's module where we'll manage students, staff, guardians, as well as their accounts associated with them. Do have a nice day.